Is he untouchable?
He should be, and it's largely because of, well, first, let me start this way.
Okay.
I said earlier in the season, he's got to get away from Joel Embiid. It's not because they can't play together. It's not because they're going to be tough to beat together or they couldn't have a very fruitful, career together. It's that when I see Ben Simmons, I see the Greek freak.
Yeah.
I see an unusually tall point guard or point forward. He's got crazy handles, crazy court vision, a great passer. He can take it hard to the rack, and he's willing to do it. Great in the open floor, as Dudley just said. He's an excellent defender and a versatile defender. He's just even a couple years younger than the Greek freak.
He's only 22 years old.
Remember when Antetokounmpo was 22?
Yeah.
He was really good, but he won this. I expect Simmons to be some version of this, but in order to reach his full potential, there can't be a guy clogging the middle, right? And not that Embiid always does, but he's really, as you've said, he really should get down low on mismatches more often and shoot the three maybe a little less often considering his shooting percentage from outside. So really, if you see the way Budenholzer did it around the Greek freak, it's surround him with shooters and let him do that thing where he either yams it on you or he finds the open man. I think Simmons could be the centerpiece of a championship quality team designed that way, but that's not the way the Sixers are designed. I would not move Simmons.
Well, first of all, it's nice that you've reached that conclusion. Welcome to the party. I will tell you this, however. My opinion has not changed about Ben Simmons. I believe that Ben Simmons is a superstar in the making.
Yeah.
I believe that Ben Simmons is a jump shot away from the Philadelphia 76ers winning the title. That's how great he is. And, oh, by the way, I'll tell you the number one thing I've come to love about him. His attitude. He don't give a damn about nothing. I mean, he is fearless. He ain't scared. He's a rough rider. He's a dog, and I mean that in a very, very good way. He's that kind of guy. I'm at the game last night at the Barclays Center, and they're booing him every time he touched the floor. He making plays. He's yamming it on people. He's looking at the crowd. He did everything but give them the finger. And I'm telling you right now, I was very disappointed in the performance from the Brooklyn Nets. I was very proud of those fans of Brooklyn. Max, I was at the Barclays Center. It wasn't an empty seat in the house, bro. Brooklyn stood up. They showed up, and that team let them down last night. Without Joel Embiid and with that crowd there, you were supposed to perform a hell of a lot better. They couldn't make shots. They were just doing. They got there. They dug themselves too much of a hole. Here's where I don't believe Ben Simmons is untouchable, however. And, oh, by the way, there was a story that was circulating out there. Bottom line is this. I spoke to the Sixers. There's no truth to it whatsoever, according to them. It never happened. In terms of Ben Simmons,
whether or not he's touchable.
Whether or not he's touchable.
Hold up. Untouchable, you mean you wouldn't trade anybody for him?
In other words,
right? That's what we're saying when we're talking untouchable.
In other words, there was never a conversation with the organization about whether or not Ben Simmons is to go someplace or not, or whether or not he was untouchable. It's according to the Sixers. It is utter nonsense. That report, they don't even want to hear about it. Okay, I just spoke to them right before the show. Just want to make sure that everybody understands that. But to get to the point about Ben Simmons being touchable, here's the only thing that I would tell you. I want Ben Simmons to understand this is not about him. It's about the health of Joel Embiid. And I think Joel Embiid is going to be just fine. I don't think they should play him the rest of the series because I think you could beat the Nets with or without him. Right? But here's the reality. Joel Embiid, because his knee is an issue, his back has been an issue, which is something, Max, you've alluded to in the past. A guy like Anthony Davis, the only reason I would consider it is because Anthony Davis can play the 4 or the 5 and cover. Now, it won't happen because the Sixers ain't going to do it. And because I think Ben Simmons is going to be a superstar. But what I'm saying is because Joel Embiid is so valuable, if his health is questionable, you got an issue because Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis can coexist with one another. Anthony Davis could spell for the absence of a Joel Embiid if necessary. And that's the only reason you would even consider it. But even then, I have a hard time letting go of Ben Simmons because he's that legit.
How far can the Sixers go without a healthy Joel Embiid?
They could win a playoff series because they're more talented than the Nets and because Simmons is really, truly excellent.
They can't get out of the semifinals.
No, I agree.
Without Embiid.
Not without Embiid. And Embiid right now is their best player. If you had to lose Embiid or Simmons right now, you lose Simmons just for the rest of this playoffs or this year, maybe next year, because Embiid is an MVP caliber player. Simmons is not yet. But the question is, who in the NBA would you rather have than the Greek freak? because I really believe Simmons is more or less Antetokounmpo, but a couple of years younger. I would rather have anyone than the Greek Freak. So if you're going to move someone because of Embiid's health, to me, it's Embiid. That's the guy you would move because you would keep the Greek Freak style player who's only 22 years old, as you said, and build around him.
Yeah, but again, there's no disagreement here. It's just that for the importance of what the article had intimated about Ben Simmons, that's what we're asking.
Well,
we're asking about the untouchable status of Ben Simmons.
Right.
Now, if we're talking about whether or not Joel Embiid should be untouchable, that's a different discussion.
Well, I'm saying because of Embiid's health, Simmons is untouchable.
Right.
Because you can't, listen, Embiid is 7 feet plus, and we've never seen a guy with his skills at his size and like weight.
But
you know,
listen,
he's like Andrew Bynum plus.
I love Embiid. I don't want Embiid or Ben Simmons to ever leave Philadelphia. The one thing that Embiid definitively has over in Anthony Davis, for example, is personality, because he has the personality to bring along with his game. But speaking strictly about his game, let's be very, very clear. There's nothing that Embiid can do on the basketball court that Anthony Davis can't do.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be clear about that.
He's a bit bigger and stronger.
Saying, but it don't matter, because Anthony Davis could do the same things that Embiid does.
AD at this moment is better than Embiid, and a lot of that is because Embiid's played 30-something games, 60-something games, 60-something games. He still hasn't played a full season. He's 25 years old. He's a giant. He's unusually big.
Yes.
Like, I would not trust his health going forward.
That's fine, and we're not even debating the health because we understand that. But what I'm saying to you is this. It's strictly in game, not just health, in game. Let's be very, very clear. There's nothing that Embiid can do on a basketball court that Anthony Davis can do. Back to the basket, face to the basket, 10 feet away, 5 feet away, 15, 20 feet away. It don't matter. There is nothing that Joel Embiid can do that Anthony Davis cannot do.
Well, he can.
Let's be clear about that.
He can back down a big, strong player, but that's much less important nowadays than it used to be.
Right, you can say that, but I think that Anthony Davis could do it too because I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't choose to, like Embiid doesn't choose to, but he can.